Happy Thursday and happy Facebook Live time. Welcome to Melissa's Crafting Treehouse and to Treehouse TV. Yay, I'm so excited to be here today. Have fun in store as always, announcements and a fun project with some of the new Sale-A-Bration products. So very fun to actually have an opportunity to play with those. Took me a while to get around to doing it. I'd hoped to do it over the Christmas break, but that didn't happen. But I have managed to play and I've been having a lot of fun. So I can't wait to share some of it with you today. So if you're joining for the live or for the replay, welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Comment and let me know you're out there and where you're from. Say hello because I love to know who's watching. So let's see. I did want to say I'm super excited and happy to be here, but I do have a little sad thing going on right now. And that is that my sweet daughter, who's been here for about 3 weeks, left today to go back to college. So I'm a sad girl. It was so fun to have her here. She was here for several weeks and she assured me that she was going back later than some of her friends. And anyway, we just had a wonderful time having her home and we'll miss her. And anyway, so that's where my head's at. I don't know if any of you guys have college students that are in that situation, but anyway, it's great to have them home. It's hard to see them leave, but she's launching she's starting her classes officially for nursing. So very exciting. She's going to be doing clinical work and anyway, we're very excited for her and very proud of her too. Shout out to my daughter, Katie. You're awesome. Anyway, so on to the announcements for the day. And I'm not seeing any announcements. Comments out there. Usually I see some by now. So I don't know what's going on with my phone. Maybe there just aren't any. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe there's something I need to tap on here. No, that's not it. Anyway, I'll hope that some will show up eventually. There's all these buttons on my screen, but I don't know what a lot of them do. All right, well, I'm just going to forge forward. I know there's people out there, so so announcements for today. So as you know, last week I announced the order was placed for Taste of a Sweet product shares. My daughter actually helped me quite a bit with doing some of the production work for it. So she was just such a godsend in that regard. So I got through a lot of it a lot more quickly than I would normally. So yay, I see hearts. That makes me so happy. You guys know I love when you do hearts. So anyway, so moving along, and I may even be able to get those product shares in the mail early, which I'm super excited about. The scheduled shipping start date was around the 23rd, 24th, but I may be able to do it sooner. So excited for that. Look forward to some little bit of Christmas for those of you who have ordered shares. It's really very fun. All right, what else? Last week I mentioned that it's now the time where you can sign up for technique classes as a club or as a subscription. This is only an opportunity twice a year. And why would you want to do that? Because it's really just a better deal. So if you sign up for a club, you're purchasing product, but at the end of your club cycle, you get free product back. So it's almost like you're hosting your own party over a period of time. So that's super fun, of course. And if you do a subscription, it's basically a fee-based way of buying my technique classes. And you get a reduced price if you do a subscription because you're committing to 3 classes up front. And that just helps me to know that I'm creating for people who want my content out there ahead of time. And so there are links live on my website to sign up for the subscription opportunities now. And that opportunity goes through February 15th. So at that point, I close it off, and then you can sign up for ad hoc classes, but not as a subscription for the reduced price or for the clubs. So check it out on my website if you're at all interested. Okay, what else? So I've been talking a little bit about my Makers Mojo Creative Escape event, but not a whole lot. So I want to tell you a little bit more about it. It's coming up in 2 weeks. The event is on Saturday, January 30th. The RSVP deadline is, I think, exactly 2 weeks from today because we have it set for the 28th. It's going to be, I've collaborated with 2 other demonstrators, very talented friends of mine in the demonstrator community. And we are going to have, the content is going to be essentially 3 full classes with multiple projects in each. And then we'll also show you variations, because we're designing this event so that we're going to show you a lot of material and content, but you won't be tied into using exactly what we have or what we used. So you may choose to do that, but you don't have to. So we want to get your creative juices flowing and give you all kinds of ideas for your card making and crafting. And the other cool thing that we're going to do, now the classes are not going to be stamp along. The classes are going to be the kind of thing where we teach you, we show you, and then you'll have a PDF and you'll have access to the video after the fact. But it's kind of hard to create and show and have you create along with us, just logistically, because it's really hard for people to keep up in that kind of situation. So we're not intending to do that as a stamp along. But we are going to have components throughout the day that I'm calling sort of a mini technique tornado, where we're each going to show techniques, and those portions will be stamp along. We'll provide you some information ahead of time. It will be the basics of what you need in order to join us to play with the technique. And we'll talk more about why we're doing it that way as well. And that will just be the creative playtime, and it should be super, super fun. And then you'll also get to play along, and you'll have some things to use after the event is over to create some really awesome cards if you've played along with the techniques. So those are going to be 3 of those segments throughout the day. We're each going to do 1. So anyway, what else can I tell you about this event? The event is online, but you can also do it by email, if you will. So the event is actually going to be live in a Facebook group, a private Facebook group. So if you sign up, then you'll get invited to that Facebook group. And all of the videos will go live at certain times. We'll provide a schedule ahead of time. And there will be breaks in between, because this is an all-day event. We've set it up for 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's so that if anybody's participating from the West Coast, that, an 8 a.m. start is not totally crazy. And then on the East Coast, of course, going to 9 p.m. isn't too bad either. So we're kind of trying to balance the variables there. But there will be breaks throughout the day. So a lot of the day will be presentations, but then we'll give you time to breathe, go to the bathroom, have something to eat, et cetera, et cetera. So we're not completely bombarding you. So it's just going to be jam-packed with lots of fun. There will be door prizes. And some people who signed up early are also going to be part of an early bird drawing that we're going to do. And there will be a short welcome and introduction to the event on Friday night, where we'll talk more about the particulars of the event as well, what we're trying to do and what we're not trying to do. So anyway, the event is $40 if you're one of my team members or my fellow demonstrators who are holding the event. This event is free for you. The first one is free. And if you decide you want to join in, it is $40. But it's a ton of content for that price point. And of course, you'll have PDFs for the classes afterwards and access to the videos afterwards as well. So anyway, we're very excited. This is our first ever event of this sort. We're calling it a creative escape. So anyway, there's information on my website, and in the tabs across the top, it's under the Selection for Makers Mojo event is under events and classes. So that's the tab you want to click on, and you should see the option to go to the Makers Mojo page with all the details and a registration link, and we'll send you an invoice if you sign up and register. So again, the deadline is the 28th of January. So don't miss it. It's going to be super fun. All right. Let's see. All right. Last but not least on my announcements list, you guys probably know it's Sale-A-Bration time. And if you're not familiar with Sale-A-Bration, the 2-cent tour is when you spend $50 in merchandise. For each $50 you spend, you get a free thing. I'm going to be showing some of those free things today. If you host a party, and the party gets to $300 in sales. You get this stamp set completely free, coordinates with lots of the different punches in the annual catalog, and it also coordinates with this new punch that's in the January to June mini catalog. And I just love punches because they make stamping so much easier. So anyway, so that's if you host and your party's at 300. And then, of course, if you buy the starter kit, there's also a starter kit special. So who out there would like 200 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper for free? If you've ever placed an order for $99 or more, the starter kit is a better deal, because not only do you get the $99, you actually get $125 in product for $99 when you buy the starter kit. And during Sale-A-Bration, you get, I'm not kidding, 200 sheets of designer paper for free in 5 different color groups. So here's some of them. These are the Brights set and their new patterns. The patterns are actually the ones that are going to be in the annual catalog that comes out in the summer of 2021. So super fun. So this is just an example of what they look like. And this is basically all the designer paper you'll get if you decide to join. So if you're a purchaser, somebody who's purchasing $99, you might as well buy the starter kit. It's the best deal in the catalog, just saying. And you get freebies if you join my team as well. My team is called the Treehouse Chicks. You get free tutorial bundles every month, and my technique classes, the electronic technique classes for free, and lots of other goodies. So, whew, that was a lot to say. So without further ado, let's go ahead and look at what we're going to make today. So I'm going to start by showing you the Sale-A-Bration catalog just a little bit, tell you what I've played with and what I'm going to use. So I'm going to turn the camera down and get started. Now, as I turn the camera around, this is one of the things that I like to do, is show you all the work in progress at my tables. See those tables? Those are where I'm preparing the product shares, and there are lots of nice little packages of lovely new products that are going to get mailed out to people soon for people who signed up for product shares. All right, so this is the Sale-A-Bration brochure. And so each item, and I want to point out a few things in here, part of why I wanted to show you, because it shows a free item on this page, this designer series paper, the Paper Blooms designer series paper, but it also tells you some details about it, like the colors that are in it and if it coordinates with anything. So here it's telling us that this designer paper coordinates with a stamp set that's in the January catalog, January to June catalog, called Pretty Perennials. So that means that you can buy the stamp set and get this lovely designer paper that goes with it. So that's pretty fun. And then on some of the other pages, here's the, what is this called? Darling Donkeys. On this page I want to point out, and this is on several of the pages, it says there's a bunch of products on here that are for sale. And over here you see there's a Darling Donkeys Project Collection, $62.25. What that's telling you is if you buy all of these products that allow you to make the projects that you see on this page, you'll get the Darling Donkey stamp set for free. So I think that that can sometimes be confusing to people, that there's things for sale in this Sale-A-Bration brochure, but it's a way of showing you what you can buy and how you can use any given set that's in one of these Sale-A-Bration brochures. So it's pretty cool. And let's see what else I want to show you. So Approaching Perfection. I'm curious if you guys have seen these items, which are your favorite? I'm always curious what people are drawn to. I know several people have told me they like this Approaching Perfection. And the things that I have played with so far. Today, I'm going to be showing you a project with the Corner Bouquet. This was the first one that actually jumped out at me as one that I wanted. Let's see. Oh, it coordinates with the In Bloom stamp set and, it says Not Pretty Perennials. I have that. I have Pretty Perennials. And I thought it coordinated with it. Well, anyway, that's what it says in the catalog. Maybe it coordinates with both. I don't know. Anyway, so the Corner Bouquet is the one we're going to work with today. It shows you, again, lots of different samples with the product. And then here's another stamp set that is another one that's for free. Haven't played with that one yet. This paper, I love the Flower and Field Designer Series paper. I think that's going to be really popular. And again, on here, there's an example of a collection of products that you can get and make the card samples that are shown here on this page. And I have created a project with this. In fact, one of the free card kits that's coming up, one of my club projects and free card kit projects, is made with this designer paper. And yeah, there you go. So what else? I have started playing with this A Touch of Ink. I am loving this one. So stay tuned for more projects coming with that. Okay, I see. Okay, and then this one, there are some items, select items in this mini where you have to spend $100 and you're getting either something larger or two things. So the Berry Blessings, this bundle with the designer paper and the stamp set, you have to spend $100 to get that free, but that's really nice. And then this one is also a $100 item, the Touch of Ink. So let's see. And then at the back, it talks about hosting, shows you the Punch Party stamp set. And then at the very back, the joining special, which shows you all the paper all laid out. Isn't that fun? Oh, Bearing Blessings is your favorite, huh, Barbara? I haven't played with that yet, but I'm excited to do that. It's very happy paper. So anyway, that's my little 2-cent tour of the Sale-A-Bration brochure. And for today's project, again, focusing on the Corner Bouquet stamp set, I'm using a sentiment from A Touch of Ink. And I also made a version using my favorite new sentiment set in the January to June mini catalog. I just love this set because it has like everything you could possibly need, plus some great sentiments for the inside as well. For the inside, I think my favorite one is just wanted to send some happy thoughts your way. I mean, that is just too useful. I love it. So that's what I'm using today. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So today's card is actually a pretty simple card. We're going to be doing a lot of sponging, and we're going to be using these new, amazing blending brushes. Has anybody out there gotten these blending brushes? They have surpassed my expectations, let's say that. It's not a sponge, right? It's, my daughter calls them a makeup brush. And if you haven't seen these up close, it's like these tiny little bristles. And so it's just super fine, and the detail that you can get in using them. And not only that, but it feels really good. And the handle is sort of bendable, so it has some give when you're pressing. So, wonderful. You just got some. That's great to know, Lee. Or is it Leah? I don't know how to pronounce. All right, so here we are going to get started. I'm going to start with my jet black StazOn, and I'm going to be using this main image in the set. And let me just show you where we're going with this. I did two versions. This one with my, I don't know, maybe it's a sunrise because it's kind of light. And then this one here, which is a little bit darker, so maybe it's actually sunset. Or at least that's how I like to think about it. So I'm going to be making the this orientation version. So what I'm going to start with is my stamping. Now, I actually did those two different versions. I used a different black ink on each. I will show you that shortly. My favorite is the jet black StazOn. Now, the reason why is because it just gives you a much darker, crisper black. I might as well just show you that now while I'm thinking about it. So this one was done in the Memento, and it's sort of like a grayish black. And this one is done with the jet black StazOn. It's just got a deeper, darker, richer black. So that is my preference. If I ever have the choice between using those two, it's going to be the StazOn is going to win out. Now, if you're using your Blends alcohol markers, you'll want to use the Memento because the StazOn can bleed with those, and the Memento works beautifully for those. So I'm going to start with just inking up my image, and I want it to be nice and well inked so that I can really take advantage of that nice black, deep, rich color. Okay, so now for this, I'm actually going to stamp it kind of down low. Hopefully not too low. Now, I think on my first one I went a little bit higher, but by going a little bit lower I don't have to worry about stamping additional images on either side. So we'll just go with that. And next I have taken a piece of my art masking tape, and I buy it on a roll like this. I think there's all kinds of them that you can get online. Mine is Eclipse art masking tape. I use it in a whole variety of different ways. And then I made it so that it was actually long enough for my long card. And then I tore just a bit off the edge to get this ragged edge. So I am going to actually put my mask above those images, and I'm going to just leave a little bit of black at the bottom, I'm sorry, a little bit of space at the bottom, because I stamped my image down lower on this one. I'm going to bring my jet black StazOn back in and a black sponge, and I'm going to be pressing really hard on this, so find that the sponge is a little bit better for getting that deep dark color. And I don't actually have the blending brushes enough for every color yet. Not even close. I think I have 9 now. So I might just be washing them in between, but I really want one for every color, but I don't think that's realistic. Anyway, so pressing on there, and I'm actually like pressing into the paper. I'm not just rubbing, but I'm pressing in because I really want some dark, rich black. Now let's see how we did with it, how dark it is there. And essentially I'm just creating the line for the ground or the horizon in there. All right, so next I've got another piece of my art masking tape. I've put it on a piece of cardstock so that I can punch it out. And for the one that I initially did, this one is actually, I think, a 1 3/8 inch punch. I'm going to use a 1 1/4 this time, 1 1/4 inch circle punch this time. This is a retired punch, but I could, of course, die cut it with one of my dies that's small, but this is just easier. Now I put it on a piece of cardstock because it's just a little bit easier to punch. You need some rigidity to your piece when you're punching. And the art masking tape is actually more like thin paper, more like Post-it note paper than it is cardstock. And then I just have to get it off of my paper. And that might be the biggest challenge of my day. I'm pretty lucky, huh? That's my biggest challenge of my day. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm going to put it so that it's kind of in this little opening here. So, you know, while we're just hanging out here and I'm getting ready, just curious, would you go for a smaller sun than that? You know, it's really kind of big, but just to scale of the whole thing, that's kind of where I was headed. I thought about doing an inch wide diameter punch instead, but in the end, this is what I went with. So now I'm going to pull in my pumpkin pie. Now, by habit, I bring in my sponges, but I'm going to use the blending brushes today. I'm starting with my darkest color, and you can see it's a virgin blending brush. I know, that's kind of funny. Just going to grab some color from my ink pad, and I'm going to go around my circle just because I just want it close to the edge. Now this is, I think I did my first ones with the regular sponges, so I might end up with a bigger halo around my sun than in the first one. We'll see. All right, next I'm going to use some Mango Melody. And just going to do a blend wider circle right outside of the pumpkin pie. I'm going to do a little bit on the ground as well, or the low part of the sky, I should say. Okay, last but not least for this part, I'm going to do my Daffodil Delight. Thank you, Kimmy, for your feedback. I'm glad you think that the size sun I chose was a good one. You're the only comment I've seen. Let's see. Okay, so now I'm using my Daffodil Delight. This is actually an old style ink pad. It's still the old felt style. You believe I still have that? And I'm going to do some yellow along the horizon, just to have it be that glowy yellow, and a little bit above the Mango Melody. And I think that's probably enough. Now I'm going to bring in my sky colors, starting with my Seaside Spray. You can see I've got all my sponges and I'm basically just tossing them aside. Become a blending brush snob. I just think these are so fun. Okay, now this is maybe a little bit easier because I've got a little bit more area to work with. And I'm going to bring my, what is it, Seaside Spray. This is one of my favorite colors. Incidentally, this color is one of the, what is it, the 2019-2021 in colors, which means it is going away as of whenever this catalog retires, which, I don't know, they're changing it this year. Is it the end of May? I think it might be the end of May. So I'm going to be so sad when this color goes away because I just love this blue. It's a very soft blue. So you can see I'm leaving sort of a little bit of white-ish between the yellow and the blue. And I guess how much I do kind of depends on if I want it to be like a night sky, morning sky. And last but not least, my Misty Moonlight. Misty Moonlight is one of the newest in colors, and so it won't go away till 2022, fortunately, because I love this blue as well. So for this, I want my dark to be concentrated more towards the top and edge. So I'm going to start off my page and just kind of work it a little bit onto the page, bit at a time. You can see I'm not getting kind of the, what is it, the shapes or the, let's see, let's do it on here. So using a, oh, that's the wrong color. Where is my, I wanted to show you, right. So when you use a sponge, because the sponge has so much texture on it, you get all this texture on your paper, right? Whereas you can see using the blending brush, it allows me to get really smooth application of the color, kind of higher resolution with a little bit less effort. Now, as you can see, I'm kind of holding onto the brush itself because this just, it gives a lot. So I feel like I have a lot more control of it if I'm holding the head of the brush itself. Okay, I'm going to look at your comments. Yes, I hope they bring this color back to you. Are you talking about the Seaside Spray or the Misty Moonlight? Well, at least the Misty Moonlight's not going too soon. But I hope they bring the Seaside Spray back. I've actually gotten pretty good at just accepting what comes and goes, but I still have my favorites. All right, I'm going to come in just a little bit more with my Seaside Spray. I really love this kind of focal point, and I think I'm going to come in a little bit on the white. I don't want so much bright white. I want it to be light, but not too much. Okay, what do you guys think of that? I think I might need to soften the yellow. Anybody have an opinion on that? Soften the yellow, maybe with a little bit of mango. Now the question is, which was my mango? I think that's my mango. Just a little bit. Okay. Don't want to do too much. Sometimes it's less is more, right? Oh no, I got too much right there. Okay, I'm going to stop. Messing with it too much. Okay, so now I'm going to reveal my moon, and then I'm going to do a little touching up on the moon with my yellow. So I just want to make it look like a glowy. Now, if I wanted it to be a moon, I could leave it white, but I want it to be more like a sun. So I'm just softening, making the moon, or the sun rather, look more sunny by giving it a little bit yellow, since I have the orange that's nice and dark against the edge. Helps keep that, the sun differentiated. Let's see. Okay, let's put this card together now. Now I do have a sentiment piece that I'm going to use for this, and I'm actually going to punch this out first, and I've created myself a little handle because this piece is very small, just a piece of cardstock with a little bit of adhesive on the end, and I'm using this punch, which is the lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch, which has options for several widths and shapes at the end. This is a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, and 1 inch well in here, but you really can do any thickness or any width, shall I say. Even a little bit wider than 1 inch would probably work. And I'm going to use this simpler end, the less curvy side. And I always turn it over, because even if I'm going to put it in the well, I find that I want to make sure that it's actually centered on the shape at the top. Side 1. And now I'm going to do the second side. I'm loving these multi-shape punches. There's a new one in the January-June mini catalog that coordinates with the Treasured Medallion set, and I'm loving that Treasured Medallion set. So I don't know if any of you guys have noticed that in the catalog, but it's very has a regal sort of look. It's got a big medallion in it. I just love the shapes, and I've been having so much fun playing with it. I'm actually going to be using that set in some of my projects for the Makers Mojo event. So you want to see some stuff made with it, definitely join in. All right, so I need my sentiment, which is around here somewhere on this table. Where did it go? How do I lose things? That's because I show you things and then I put things down off the side, on top of them. Dang, it's around here somewhere. How embarrassing. Shoot. Seriously, guys. I know it's on this table somewhere, and if I don't look for it, I'm going to be like it was right under my nose the whole time. Shoot. Well, I don't see it. And that's going to make me crazy. Oh, well, I guess I have to give up. I am going to find it as soon as I'm off camera. I'm quite sure of it. So, anyway, basically, I would stamp the sentiment on there, and then I'm going to sponge the edges. I will just do the sponging. Now, for the edges, I am actually going to use my regular old sponge because Well, I could try it the other way. Let's see how it works the other way. I was thinking that doing it on the edge would be easier with a sponge than with this, but why is that the case? So I'm just going to rub it against the edge. Let's see how that does with my Misty Moonlight. Yeah, see what I mean? Not exactly what I was looking for. Let's just turn it over. So there are some times where your sponge is going to be a better application. So you can see getting a nice sort of subtle little fuzzy edge. And I felt like this was needed because just because of the design of the card, and it felt too stark white to have it without the sponging. So you can see, right? I don't know. Just seemed to be better with the sponging to me. Chime in and let me know what you think. All right, so let's put this together, minus the sentiment since I can't find it, and then I'll just show you the original card. And I'll find it, like I said, as soon as I get off camera, and I'll show it to you then. So I've got a backing for my focal piece. Let's go ahead and add some adhesive. Now I did my original version without dimensionals because I thought it looked just fine, but I decided this one is going to have dimensionals on it. And I'm going to show you and see if you have a preference for one or over the other. So now this piece is going to go, so I have adhesive on the back side of this. I use these plasticized recycled pieces, so you don't have to watch me put adhesive on everything. So there we go. I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight for my backing. And again, I think of this as sort of my nighttime color versus the other one, which was the Seaside Spray, for more of a morning look. So on this one, I've put some of my foam adhesive sheets. And incidentally, I have recently noticed that the foam adhesive sheets are a little bit thicker than regular dimensionals. So just be aware if you do that. They're not as thick as the foam adhesive strips that we sell, but they are a little bit thicker than the dimensionals. So there is my card, minus the finished sentiment. And let's see, there is one thing I wanted to tell you about the sentiment. Just looking around to see if one last ditch effort, see if I can find it. All right, so I did the sentiment on this one, of course, with my jet black stays on. But the stamp, this stamp set, the one that I got it from, this one, Touch of Ink, is a photopolymer set. Now typically I don't like to use my photopolymer stamps with jet black stays on because it stains the stamp, but my strategy for that, because I want that deep dark black, is just to wash it immediately. I mean, like right after you do the inking, stamping, and then, and then that's it. So there's my two cards. Now when I did this one, I thought I did too much yellow. I wanted the blue to come down in here, so I tried to do a little bit more of the blue down low on the left, and of course I'm showing less of my flowers, so they're each a little bit different. And then there's my third card, which was the landscape orientation. When I did this one, I stamped that main image in the middle, and then I used the second image in the set and did them a little bit off to the side so I could sort of fill up the whole thing. And this is where the sentiment from that Happy Thoughts set comes in. I used the thank you from this set here. So anyway, there are my finished cards. I will have these photographed and on my blog by Saturday. And this video will be posted to YouTube also on Saturday, so you can go back and watch again if you want. You can come back to Facebook too and watch again. And I'll have all the dimensions and the supplies and everything for these projects in case you want to make them yourself. So let's just flip the camera around. We'll say a quick goodbye, a couple of reminders, and I'll let you go on your merry way for the evening. Let's Here we go. See my wall first. Switch me around. Hello. Hello, everybody. I wish I could see you instead of you guys just seeing me. Oh, I'm so glad you loved them all. I finally get to see comments because I'm actually looking at the camera. So I guess just quick recap, right? So don't forget to register for Maker's Mojo if you are interested in joining for a full day of creative fun and play. And some techniques to play with and learn as well, and some crafting play along, prizes, all that good fun. So register on my website under the Classes and Events tab. You'll click on the Maker's Mojo option and go there to register, and you'll be all set. So super easy, easy peasy. And let's see what else. Let me know if you have questions about Sale-A-Bration, and of course you're always welcome to order with my hostess code. But if you're going to place a larger order, consider that starter kit offer and the free 200 sheets of designer series paper. Can't argue with that, right? And then last but not least, just keep in mind the Technique subscription and Technique Club open registration window is open now until February 15th, so don't miss that. If that's something you're interested in, my technique classes are really a deep dive into a technique. I do 3 projects using a technique, so I do multiple variations, and I videotape kind of hours of footage, and then I try to, feed back to the participants all of what I learned and tips and tricks and variations. And I spend a lot of time on the classes, so it's a lot of great content, I've been told, and I think so too. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I will be back next Thursday, same time, same channel, for more Treehouse TV. Actually, yeah, so I don't think there's anything else. What else? Is there something else I wanted to say? Yeah, watch for my blog post, and I look forward to seeing you back next week. Thanks so much for joining in, and I hope you loved the project today, and we'll give it a try yourself. Have a great evening, everybody, and you're welcome. You're welcome, MJ. We'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.